My wife called CPS on me after I found out about her affair. I'm replacing a breaker panel at a strip mall when my phone rings with a strange number. Woman on the other end says she's with the Department of Children and Families and they need to come to my house today to investigate a report. I'm like, investigate what? She says, someone reported that I'm physically harming my kids. I literally dropped my screwdriver. Told her there must be some mistake. I've got two teenagers who are perfectly fine. Whoever called is lying. She says they still have to check it out. It's the law, and they'll be at my house at 4 p.m. I hung up and immediately knew who made that call. My wife, the same woman I busted 48 hours earlier with another dude. Look, I'm 47, been married 18 years. We have two kids, a 16-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son. Live in Orlando. Got a little 3-bedroom that's barely big enough for all of us. I'm an electrician, residential and commercial work, whatever pays the bills. And she's a receptionist at some insurance agency. Between the two of us, we pull in maybe 70 grand a year, which in Florida means we're getting by, but not exactly living large. Kids are good. Daughter's in a marching band, plays clarinet. Son's into skateboarding and video games. Normal suburban life, you would think, right? Except it hasn't been normal for a while now. Started noticing weird stuff maybe 5 months back. My wife's always been kind of a homebody, never really cared about going out much, but suddenly she's got all these after-work things. Drinks with coworkers, running errands that take 3 hours, going to Ross and Target, and coming back with one item. Her whole vibe changed too. Started wearing makeup to work when she never used to. Bought herself some new outfits, talking about maybe getting back into shape. I figured maybe she was going through something, like a midlife thing or whatever. Tried to be supportive, but her phone habits really got my attention. She'd get texts and her face would light up. Then she'd see me looking and her face would go back blank. Started keeping her phone in her pocket instead of leaving it on the counter like she used to. Changed her lock screen from a picture of the kids to some generic flower photo. And the biggie, she stopped letting me use her phone for anything. Used to be if my phone was dead, I would just grab hers to look something up. No big deal. Now, if I even reached for it, she would snatch it away like I was trying to steal her social security number. Sex life went from decent to non-existent too, but honestly, that happens in marriages sometimes. So I didn't think too much of it at first. Then, about 2 months ago, she starts having these late meetings at work, once a week, then twice a week. Insurance agency staying open until 9 p.m. for meetings. Yeah, that didn't add up. One night, I drove by her office around 7:30. The parking lot is empty except for the boss's car. She's not there. So where is she? I didn't say anything, just filed that information away. A week later, same thing. Late meeting, but I drive by and her car's not there. That's when I knew something was up for real. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I bought one of those tile tracker things, the kind people put on their keys. $30 at Best Buy. They didn't have them in store. I had to order them online. Stuck it in the glove compartment of her car under some napkins where she would never look. Next late meeting night, I'm watching the app on my phone. She leaves work at 5:30 like usual, but instead of heading home, she drives to an apartment complex, stays there for 3.5 hours. My stomach just sank. I knew right then what was happening, but I needed to see it with my own eyes. The following week, she tells me she's got another late meeting. Wednesday night, I tell her no problem. I'll order food for me and the kids. Soon as she leaves, I tell my daughter to keep an eye on her brother. I've got to run out for a work thing. I drive to that apartment complex and sure enough, there's her car. I park down the street and I wait. About 20 minutes later, as luck would have it, the door to a first floor unit opens and she walks out onto the little patio with some dude. They're both holding wine glasses. laughing about something. Then he leans in and kisses her, and she kisses him back. I pulled out my phone and started recording video. Got about 45 seconds of them out there, kissing and talking, before they went back inside. Then I took pictures of her car in the parking spot, pictures of the apartment number, everything. Together for almost 2 decades, 2 kids, and she's making out with some guy at his apartment while telling me she's at a work meeting. Finally, I drove home, went straight to the garage, sat in my truck in the dark for I don't know how long. She got home around 9:30, came in a jolly mood, asked if the kids ate, said her meeting ran long. I just gave her a thumbs up. Didn't say a word about what I just witnessed. Next day, while at work, spent the whole morning Googling divorce lawyers, trying to figure out what to do. Problem was, lawyers want money up front. Retainers of $2,000, $3,000, some wanted 5. We had about 14,000 in savings, but that was for emergencies. And if I pulled out a huge chunk, she would see it immediately. I found one lawyer who said she would do a free consultation. So I drove to her office that afternoon, showed her the video, the photos, the tracker data showing all the times my wife had driven to that apartment. She told me Florida's a no-fault divorce state, so the cheating doesn't technically matter for the divorce itself, but it could matter for other stuff if I could prove she was spending our money on the affair. She said she could take my case for $1,800 up front. I told her I would need a few days to get the money together. That weekend, I decided I had to confront her. Sunday morning, the kids were both still asleep. They sleep until noon or later on weekends, and I found her in the kitchen making coffee. I pulled out my phone and just held it up, showing her the video of her kissing that guy. She looked like she was in a daze once she realized what she was looking at. She didn't say anything for a minute, just stared at the phone. Then she asked where I got that. I told her I followed her. She asked when. I told her Wednesday night when she said she had a so-called late meeting. She tried to explain, said it wasn't serious, said it just happened, and the most shocking thing she said was give her time to end it. I couldn't believe it. I simply told her it was way too late for that. I was filing for divorce. That's when she flipped, started yelling at me about how I invaded her privacy, how I followed her like some creep, how dare I spy on her. I told her she lost any right to privacy when she started screwing around behind my back. She said I was overreacting. It wasn't that serious between them. I said, no, we're done. She needs to figure out where she's going to stay because I want her out of the house. She said, this is her house too, and she's not going anywhere. Fine, I said, then I'll leave. But either way, I'm filing for divorce and I'm going for full custody of the kids. That really set her off. She screamed that I would never get the kids, that she's their mother, that no judge would take them away from her. I just walked out of the kitchen at that point. Monday and Tuesday were tense as hell. We barely spoke to each other, just moved around the house like ghosts. The kids knew something was wrong, but I hadn't told them yet. Wanted to wait until I had my ducks in a row. The following morning, I went to work like normal. Had a job at a strip mall, running new electrical for some retail spaces they were renovating. Around noon, I got that call from DCF saying they needed to come investigate a report. I left work early, got home, and waited. 4 p.m. on the dot, 2 people show up with badges and clipboards, a man and a woman, both probably in their 30s, real serious faces. They introduced themselves and said they needed to speak with me about allegations that I had been physically abusing my children. What the hell? I asked. Who made the report? They said they couldn't disclose that information. I told them point blank, it was my wife, she's lying, we're getting divorced, and she's trying to make me look bad. They said regardless of who made the report, they had to investigate. They asked if the children were home. My daughter just got back from band practice. My son was still at his friend's house down the street. They asked if they could speak with my daughter privately. I said absolutely, talk to her all you want, because I've never laid a finger on her or my son. They took her into the home office and shut the door. I'm standing in the hallway freaking out because I know what my wife's trying to do. About 30 minutes later, they come out. My daughter's got tears running down her face, but she looks more angry than scared. The investigators ask me if I can call my son to come home so they can interview him too. I call him, tell him to come home right now. While we're waiting, they start asking me questions. Do I have a temper? Have I ever hit the children? Have they ever been injured in my care? Do I drink alcohol around them? I answered everything honestly. No, no, no. And occasionally, I'll have a beer with dinner, but that's it. My son gets home, and they take him into the home office. Same thing. Door shuts. I wait in the hallway. Another 30 minutes or so, and they come out. My son looks confused more than anything. The investigators say they need to do a physical examination of both children to check for marks or bruises. Both kids show them their arms, legs, backs. Nothing there because I've never touched them. They take photos for their records. Then the woman investigator looks at me and says they need to ask me something. She says both children disclosed that their mother has been using prescription pills that aren't prescribed to her and smoking marijuana in the home. I just stood there, confused, dumbfounded, had no idea. She asked if I was aware of this, and I told her no, absolutely not. This is the first time hearing of it. She says both children were very specific. Their mother takes pain pills she gets from a coworker, sometimes 3 or 4 at a time, and smokes pot in the garage late at night after she thinks they're asleep. My daughter spoke up then and said she's been scared to tell me because mom said if she told anyone she would take away her phone and wouldn't let her do marching band anymore. My son said the same thing, said mom threatened him, said if he told me about the pills or the pot, she would make his life hell. The investigators took detailed notes on everything. They said they would be interviewing my wife next and they would be back in touch. After they left, I sat down with both kids, asked them if what they told the investigators was true. They both swore it was. My daughter said mom's been acting weird for months, sleeping at random times during the day, getting angry over nothing, zoning out in the middle of conversations. My son said he found a pill bottle in the bathroom trash can a few weeks ago with someone else's name on it, threw it away because he was scared. I asked them why they didn't tell me sooner. My daughter started crying and said she didn't know what to do. She was scared I would be mad at mom and they would get divorced. I told her that ship had already sailed. I'd caught mom cheating and we were getting divorced anyway. Both kids just looked at me. My son asked if that's why DCF came to the house. I told them the truth. Mom called DCF and lied, said I was hitting you guys because she's mad. I caught her cheating and she wants to make me look like the bad guy. My daughter got this look on her face like she'd never been so angry in her life. She said, that's messed up. That's really messed up. And she doesn't want to live with mom anymore. My son said the same thing. That made my decision for me. Next morning, I called that divorce lawyer back and told her everything. The false DCF report, the kids disclosing the pill and pot use, the fact that both kids said they want to stay with me. She said we needed to file for emergency custody immediately. I asked how much her legal fees would be for all of this. She said between the divorce filing and the emergency custody petition, I'm looking at $3 grand total for her services. That covers her retainer, court costs, and all the paperwork. I went to the bank that afternoon and pulled $5,000 out of our savings account. Figured if I'm doing this, I might as well cover all my bases. My wife would see it eventually, but I didn't care anymore. We filed the petition that day, dissolution of marriage and emergency custody petition based on mother's drug use and false DCF report. My wife got served with papers at her work the next day. She called me screaming so loud. I had to hold the phone away from my ear. Said I was a piece of shit. Said I was trying to steal her kids. Said she would fight me on every single thing. I told her she did this to herself and hung up. A few days later, DCF showed up at her office to interview her. I wasn't there, but my lawyer talked to the investigators after. They asked her about the pills and the pot. She denied everything, said the kids were lying because I coached them. They asked her to submit to a drug test. She refused, said they couldn't make her without a court order. Big mistake. We had a hearing the following week. Judge heard from DCF. They presented their findings that there was no evidence I'd ever harmed the children, but there were credible allegations of substance abuse by the mother based on consistent statements from both children and mother's refusal to drug test. My wife's lawyer tried to argue that the kids were lying because they were angry about the divorce. Judge asked my wife directly if she'd be willing to drug test today in the courthouse. She said no. Judge said that spoke volumes, granted me temporary full custody on the spot. My wife got supervised visitation only. 2 visits a week, 2 hours each, had to be at a supervised visitation center with a monitor present. And she had to complete a drug assessment and follow all recommendations before she could even ask for unsupervised time. She left that courthouse sobbing. That was 2 months ago. She finally agreed to drug test 3 weeks ago, popped positive for oxycodone and marijuana. Her lawyer tried to downplay it, but the judge wasn't interested. Custody arrangement stays the same until she completes treatment and has 90 days clean. The divorce itself is moving forward. We're splitting the savings. She gets $4,500. I get $4,500. House is getting sold. We'll split whatever equity is left after we pay off the mortgage. Should be about 15 grand each. She's keeping her car. I'm keeping mine. No alimony because we make about the same amount. Kids are doing better now. They're relieved. They don't have to keep secrets anymore. My daughter told me last week she feels like she can breathe again. My son's grades actually went up since he's been staying with me full time. They see their mom twice a week at the visitation meetup point. And it's awkward, but they go because I told them she's still their mother and they should give her a chance to get help. Never in a million years did I think I'd be that guy dealing with CPS investigations and drug tests and supervised visitation. Never thought my wife would cheat on me and then try to destroy my life when she got caught. But that's where I am. And honestly, I'm okay with it because the alternative was pretending I didn't know, letting her keep doing whatever she was doing and watching my kids suffer. She tried to weaponize the system against me. She called DCF knowing full well I would never hurt those kids. Figured she'd get me investigated, maybe get me arrested, get full custody, take everything, but it blew up in her face because the truth came out. Kids told the truth about her drug problem. DCF did their job properly. Judge saw through her lies, and now she's the one who lost everything. Do I feel bad for her? Sometimes. She's clearly got issues. Addiction is real, it's serious, and she needs help. But then I remember that she tried to get me arrested for child abuse. She was willing to let the state take my kids away based on complete lies. She was angry she got caught and tried to retaliate. After she did that, it's hard to come back from that or even forgive her. The cheating was one thing. People cheat. It sucks. Marriages end. But trying to destroy me, trying to paint me as someone who beats his kids, that's unforgivable. My buddy went through something similar years ago, told me his ex called the cops on him claiming domestic violence. Cops showed up, investigated, realized she was lying, but he said it was the worst day of his life. Now I get it. Having someone you loved, someone you built a life with, try to burn you to the ground just because you caught them doing wrong. That changes you, makes you realize you never really knew them at all. But my kids are safe. They're with me. They're doing well. And that's what matters. My wife can get herself together or not. That's on her. All I can control is making sure my kids have a stable home where they don't have to lie or keep secrets or worry about what version of their mom they're going to get on any given day. TLDR. My wife called CPS on me after I found her affair. She tried to destroy me, and instead, she destroyed herself. Can't say I'm happy about how it all went down, but I'm glad we're on the other side of it. The kids are safe, they're with me, and we're building something better, something honest, and that's worth everything.